realise and recognise just what a good player we have actually signed today. Just because it's gone on for a long time and it's been the saga of the summer and last summer, and throughout the season, and it's gone on, we shouldn't let that deter us away from the fact that he's such a fantastic player and the future's bright for him. And I think that coming into this Manchester United squad, especially if we can hold on to some, which I'm sure we'll talk about, and attain some more, the way he comes in as a stellar signing, whereas other signings maybe hasn't worked, is he's coming into a team that is only 2 or 3 players off being where it needs to be, which really excites me.
You mentioned last summer when this saga was at its height, I guess. Borussia Dortmund were asking for £108 million. United have got him for £73 million. You say he's a good signing, but how good a business deal is this?
I think it's always difficult as fans because we're from the viewpoint of we want it now, we know what we need, just pay the money. And there was a lot to consider with last season. Manchester United have obviously lost close to £150 million plus more, as the whole market and a lot of other clubs during the COVID pandemic. And it was a situation where as you look back on it, we were probably right to wait that long. Even at the time, was Jadon Sancho worth £120 million? I thought that was excessive. But I myself, I hold my hands up as a fan. I was like, just pay the money. We need him. And the gamble, or actually not a gamble, I'll put a bit more respect on that. The strategy to not do that has ended up paying off well. We finished second in the league and almost won a trophy, which obviously wasn't good enough. But now we've got him for £73 million. It does look like, we've played our hand of poker quite well there, when it looked like we originally had the custard pie on our faces. So it's definitely worked out for the better. It could have gone a different way, and maybe my emotions and feelings on that would have been different as a Manchester United fan. But you have to look back on it and say it's business well done, for sure.
Flex, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Bruno Fernandes, Edinson Cavani, Jadon Sancho now, Mason Greenwood, Daniel James, Armand Diallo. I probably missed out a couple. Where does Jadon Sancho fit into this team?
Right at the top in the starting lineup for me, in my opinion. I think he comes in on that right-hand side. I think he will do that. He's versatile, though. We know he can come from the left-hand side, maybe even drift into central areas as well. He's a versatile player. And with Marcus Rashford, which he started with, suspectedly going off until October with potentially getting his injury sorted out and then getting an operation, it could be the perfect time for Jadon Sancho to maybe step in on the left, etc., and fill in. A decent time for Marcus Rashford to go and get himself sorted out. So I think Jadon Sancho comes straight into the starting 11. Maybe towards the beginning of the season, as he's coming back late, he might need a few more weeks before he gets into that starting 11, which is understandable. But for me, I think he's going to be one of the first names on the team sheet in terms of our attacking options, for sure. He is going to need a bit of time, though. I mean, as a Man United fan, obviously I'm excited. And because he's English, we just assume that he's just going to come in and smash it straight away, and we've got afforded that luxury with Bruno Fernandes. It doesn't always work like that. He's been playing in Dortmund for quite a while now. He's going to take a little bit of time to get accustomed to the league, which I'm sure Manchester United fans will give him that time. But with such a big price tag and expectancy, you know that kind of wanting him to do well and that level of expectancy is just going to keep rising. So I'm sure the pressure will be on, but I'm willing to be patient on him.
Flex, Jadon Sancho in, of course. Rafael Varane, United still in talks with his representatives over personal terms. Are you daring to dream? Are Manchester United realistic title challengers next season?
I believe if we get Rafael Varane over the line, and I'm sure we'll talk about Paul Pogba, but I think we need to retain him as well. I think with Rafael Varane, retaining Paul Pogba and getting Jadon Sancho, I think that's enough to challenge. I know we do need a defensive midfielder, and that will still be an issue, but I honestly think the tools are there to challenge. I think no team in the Premier League division has the divine right to go and say we must win the league or we will win the league with this squad. It's a very hotly contested league. Chelsea still to make some moves. We know what Manchester City are looking at doing with Harry Kane, with the reports today. So we don't have a divine right, especially after not winning it in 8 years now. But what we do have a right to do with the amount of money we spent in the squad that we're assembling as Manchester United fans is to have the right of an expectancy to go the distance, to make a competition and a real duel for that Premier League title. And I think if we get Varane, which is so crucial for me, I almost put Varane, a lot of people have been following United, you know my thoughts on this, is that I just think that he was even a bigger priority over Jadon Sancho for me. That's how important I rate Rafael Varane. If we get him, plus retain Paul Pogba and hopefully get that defensive midfielder, there's no reason why we can't challenge for the league. We should be with that squad.
So, Flex, We heard it here first. We've got it on tape. Manchester United title challengers next season. I'm sure
Title
you'll be talking
challengers.
about